Okay. This is Skills Practice 15. I want to start by having you guys all look at your periodic tables and label them according to electron configurations. You start off with 1s2, and then that continues over here to be 1s2 on this side. Then it goes 2s2 for these two, 2p6 in this whole row, these 6 elements, then 3s2 here for these two, and it continues down, 4s2, 5s2, 6s2, and on this side it continues with 3p6, 4p6, 5p6, and in the center here we have 3d10, 4d10, 5d10. And based off of this assignment should be really easy. For the first problem, you have germanium. When you're writing configurations with the noble gas, you look at the noble gas that comes previous to it. In this case, it's argon. And so since it is argon, you start with writing argon, and then you have to look at how far you have to come to get to germanium. And since the next part after argon is 4s2, and that's complete, you write 4s2, and then the next part that's complete is 3d10, and you go up to 4p2. So the next part you write up here is 3d10 and 4p2, and that's a complete electron configuration for germanium. The next one we have is barium. So you look at where barium is on the periodic table, and you have to look at what noble gas comes before it. Since barium is all the way down here, the noble gas that would come before it is xenon. And then you have to complete 6s2 to get to barium. So you write xenon and then complete 6s2. The next one is bromine. And bromine comes right after argon. So you start at argon, and then you're going to be completing 4s2, an entire 3d sublevel, and 4p5, and that's what you write next. So you're starting with argon, then you complete 4s2, 3d10, and 4p5. The next one is bismuth. Bismuth comes after xenon, and that's the noble gas before bismuth. And to get to bismuth, you have to complete 6s2, and then you have to complete 4f14, 5d10, and then a 6p3 level. So for bismuth, you're going to be starting with xenon, then you continue to 6s2, 4f14, 5d10, and 6p3. For manganese, the noble gas that comes before manganese is argon, and then from argon you have to continue to 4s2, then you have to complete the 3d sublevel up to 3d5 to get to manganese. So that means on here you're going to be writing argon, 4s2, and 3d5. Finally, for gold, what comes before gold is xenon. So you look at xenon, and then you continue past that to get to gold. You have to continue through 6s2, 4f14, and 5d9 to get to gold. So on here you have to write xenon, 6s2, 4f14, 5d9. All you have to do is find the noble gas before the element configuration you're looking for, and then follow through whichever sublevels you have to go through to get to that element. For the next part, you're just going to be answering a couple questions. So you have to think about which column of the periodic table contains elements whose configuration ends with D4. So if you look here, we know that the D sublevels are in this area. And you start with this one having the first sublevel, so it's 3D1 here, 3D2 here, 3D3, 3D4. That means column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Column 6 is where the configuration will end with D4. Now, what row of the periodic table contains elements with 4d electrons? 4d electrons, as we can see from our labeling, is in this row. And that row is 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the fifth row. For 3p electrons, the row with that, from our labeling, you can see the 3p elements are right here, and that is the third row. Now, in each row of the D block, there are only 10 elements. Why is this? D sublevels can only hold 10 electrons. So 10 elements means that there are 10 electrons added. Each D sublevel. And same thing for the P block. There are 6 elements because the P sublevel can hold only 6 electrons. Well, that's the end of skills practice 15, and that's all.